they have sophisticated fuel quality sensors that kind of measures what the percent level of ethanol is, and then the engine kind of adjusts to it. If you don't have those sensors and let the engine just think it's straight gasoline, you will probably deteriorate in emissions.
Okay, so that's our questions for the day. I'll give you 5 minutes, and we'll start with blue group 1. We need the representative at the podium in 5 minutes. Thank you.
We took a shortcut to pass an emissions test, and we are deeply sorry. We build great cars, and that's not going to change. This company will continue to be the global leading company that produces diesel cars. In response to the emissions test, we're going to do 3 things. 1, we're going to fix the problem. 2, we're going to roll out an extensive environmental preservation plan. And lastly, we're going to change the corporate atmosphere so that no one feels pressure to take shortcuts in designing our products. Thank you. We'll now take questions.
So if you're a consumer and own a Volkswagen diesel, how are you going to help me? What am I going to do with this?
We are going to compensate those individuals that were harmed by this, and that will be handled in the legal system.
Any more questions?
Yes.
What are the financial implications for the company?
Financial implications. Well, we will comply with the regulatory environments, the EPA, and cooperate extensively with whatever needs to be done, and those determinations will be made eventually.
When will we know more of your plans with the environmental concerns? I think a lot of your consumers would be interested in that.
We're going to work with some outside groups that specialize in that. We build cars, so we are going to consult and utilize help in designing a plan that will benefit the environment.
What's your timeline on this moving forward?
We hope to roll out our plan within a year. Question back there?
Preface. Are you the CEO or just the press guy?
I'm just the press guy.
Will the CEO be stepping down?
Well, he actually already has, so yeah. Thank you.
Great job. Great job.
Gold team 1, gold team 1. We're giving you guys 2 minutes up here.
Hello everyone. First, I would like to apologize to our current and future customers that we have made misled unintentionally when we initially heard of the discrepancies with our vehicles, with our vehicle emissions. We took direct action and recalled those vehicles immediately. During our recall testing, we did not find an issue with the emissions, which led us to believe this situation was developed by a small set of engineers. So we have fired the 3 executives and suspended several engineers that were related to the project. Pending our initial tests. So we have set aside a significant amount of money in order to rectify the situation. This is not our corporate culture, and we would like to make sure that we take the correct steps to correct this issue and regain the trust of our customers. I'll take any questions now.
So what would be an example of one of those direct steps and correct steps that you just mentioned?
We found the issue, so we're going to correct those with the current vehicles and our future vehicles. We've set aside money for a monetary compensation for the customers that we've affected.
You also mentioned corporate culture. When it comes to corporate culture, how do you go? What's an example of something that you may want to change or make better?
We want to definitely reflect trust in our corporate culture now. That is something that we want to make sure that the people that buy our vehicles are now know that they're getting a quality vehicle that is going to be compliant with the EPA.
Any more questions? Arvind?
Yes.
What does this mean to the brand of clean diesel? Do you think Volkswagen can sell these cars in the future?
I believe so. It's not, like I said, it wasn't our entire company. We're taking responsibility, but it was a small subset that created an issue. But I think clean diesel is the way of the future, and we're definitely going to be compliant from this point forward.
All right, thank you. So I think we're at blue two. Blue two. All right.
Yeah, that's right. At Volkswagen, we believe in a quality product. We believe that our engineers are some of the best and the brightest in their fields. And that's why we with you are deeply disappointed to share the news that we made a mistake. We have released vehicles which deliberately understate the amount of pollutants that have been emitted to the atmosphere. We have recalled the vehicles in question, and we intend to conduct a thorough investigation to make sure that our company policies are in line with what we and what you as consumers expect. We want to take care of the environment, just as you do. And we will make sure that we do all that it takes to make sure that that happens. We look forward to working with you again in the future. We believe in diesel as a technology. We believe that it has a lot of life ahead of it. And we believe that these are the kind of products that you as consumers and that we as Volkswagen manufacturers would want to have again in the future. We'll now take a few questions.
Last week we interviewed Musk from Tesla, and he really believes in electric cars. So what's Volkswagen stance on that? Will you look into that type of engineering for your future cars?
We believe that battery technology has a long way to go. We feel that diesel is a very mature technology that offers a lot to the consumer, both in terms of price and in terms of longevity and quality. We definitely support the development of battery technology, and as it becomes better and more consistent with the type of options that we offer now, we will be sure to incorporate those. Again, we want to reiterate, we hire the best and the brightest engineers to work for us at Volkswagen, so we will make sure that all those options are considered thoroughly.
If your company policy was consisting of becoming the #1 car automaker in the world, and you've done that, but you did that with a defeat device, then how do you plan on changing those policies?
We believe that we had a miscommunication of our ethics within the organization. This is a critical issue for us because we believe that intelligence has no value if it's not guided by the kinds of principles that we believe in as a company. So we want to make sure that everyone shares our same ideals. And these are the things that everyone should be able to see into our company from our website. We want to be very clear from top to bottom and to our customers what it is that we believe in and what it is that our engineers believe in.
Why did your engineer make that decision?
We have yet to identify which engineer made the decision, but as more information becomes available, we will be sure to be as transparent as we can to let everyone know what went into those decisions. Yes?
Do you mean to say the world's largest car manufacturer does not have a process to monitor the developmental activities?
We do have a process in place, and we're grieved to see that it was not followed in the way that it should have been. So going forward, we intend to reiterate our process and revisit it to make sure that it's adequate to the needs of a competitive marketplace.
Can you say you have the best engineers that they're in?
That's a difficult question and one that we ask ourselves frequently. Engineers we believe in technical excellence, and we do our best to choose engineers that have values consistent with what we believe as a company. And in the future, we intend to revisit our hiring procedures to make sure that we are selecting candidates consistent with these. Yes?
If you next diesel car, do you feel comfortable letting your children play around your car while it's on, while the engine running on?
I believe in diesel as a technology, and I believe that with some of the changes that we intend to make in the near future, it will be even more safe and suitable for the environment. So the answer to your question is yes.
All right, thank you.
Is there a prize after this? I think we just got it.
I'm glad I got to go after Hans.
Okay, we got you back. We got you set.
Hello, I'm here today on behalf of Volkswagen. We absolutely understand that we have let you down as consumers. We've been a trusted brand of yours for years and years. We've been able to offer quality products to you, and we completely apologize for the situation, our dishonesty in the creation of our diesel technologies, and we obviously are not apologizing just because we got caught. We're apologizing because we are aware of the situation, and we are disappointed in ourselves and our employees. To fix these things, we've already got a couple things in place. Volkswagen is working hard to improve internal communications, insert new levels of approval processes. These processes will help our leadership team be better connected to better understand what's actually happening in the engineering development process, what technologies and solutions are being developed, and we've also appointed champions that will be operational and on our supervisory board for safety, emissions, innovation, and design. These create a more cohesive and connected organization that will help our process be better informed and a better connected, communicated company. Secondly, by injecting more money into our research and development, Volkswagen is committed to repairing the environmental damage that may have been caused by this oversight. We plan to work with the research and development team, or the research team that he mentioned earlier in California that is monitoring the situation. We will do all we can to protect our Earth because it's important to us. Going forward, we at Volkswagen, we plan to continue to work hard to provide a quality engineering and quality product that offers you a safe, reliable family vehicle for your choosing for years to come. I'll take questions.
With these new processes, how do you plan on being transparent to your consumers?
We plan to keep the lines of communication open. We ask that our consumers contact us with any questions or concerns they may have about what's going into the process. We do plan to share as much as we can. Our website will be updated with the new leadership structure and the reporting series that will happen within those champions. Yes.
Did Volkswagen think they can get away with this, or they almost did?
Oh, absolutely not. We definitely plan to keep the culture of our organization is not to accept dishonesty and not to accept bullshit. You said earlier the engineering team, you can't cover up something like that, and that's something that we don't tolerate in our organization. The engineers that are responsible will obviously be taken care of, and we plan to do all we can to improve our communications and internal communications to make sure that doesn't happen again, and the culture of our organization.
What kind of car do you drive?
A Honda.
All right, thank you. Are we blue or gold? I think we're blue. Blue 3. Blue 3. Coming up from the back.
Keeping calm.
On behalf of the Volkswagen Auto Group, I'd like to apologize for the unethical actions taken by members of our team to circumvent emissions tests. To satisfy the requirements of federal emissions regulations, we broke the trust of not just federal regulators, but of our most valued asset, our customers and our consumers. We're committed to taking swift action against those responsible for that, but we take responsibility for that as an organization. We'll comply with any state, federal regulators in any way that we can to ensure that this doesn't happen again. We're committed to clean diesel technology, we're committed to transparency in this effort, and above all, we're committed to our product and to our people. I'd like to go ahead and open up the floor for questions, please. Yes, sir.
So if you're going to induce a recall, how are you going to force the customers to bring the cars in? Are you planning to give monetary incentives or buy the car back?
We've instituted an immediate recall. At this time, we're still working out a complete and comprehensive plan to address that, but we are committed to achieving the expectations and the promises and commitment that we made to our consumers upon purchase of Volkswagen product.
The consumers need not bring their vehicle in. They might be happy the way it is. How are you going to force them to bring it in? Because more of the vehicles are on the road.
We're going to have to institute a mandatory recall.
Are you going to replace my vehicle with that mandatory recall and the 500,000 vehicles that are out there continuing to pollute the environment? I mean, what are you going to do for these customers that need to get from point A to point B?
We're instituting a loaner program, so you bring your car in.
Will they get loaned to Volkswagen?
Excuse me?
Will it be a Volkswagen they're loaned? A diesel?
It'll be up to the discretion of our customers. You want a Rolls Royce? We'll have to talk about it, but we'll do what we can. Yes, sir.
Jack Hackman, Fox News. There's also rumors of an ongoing sexual harassment suit against you. Can you please speak to that?
I did not have relations with that engineer. Any other questions at this time?
Yes, just one more. I hear the movie rights were bought by a company owned by Leonardo DiCaprio. What do you think of that?
I hope that I hope that the actions of both the Volkswagen Auto Group are portrayed to be portrayed by Leonardo DiCaprio and his production team. I'm very excited to see it, but I hope that everything will come to light in that. It really, and as I mentioned, we're committed to transparency, and we will provide information as we can. Yes?
Are you now, or have you ever been, a member of the Communist Party?
Fred, I can't comment at this time. No further questions. Thank you all very much.
Can we have our last group?
Hello, my name is Tom Christopher. I'm the CEO of Volkswagen and Audi. Volkswagen has been known as a people's car. We value our customers, we value our environment, we value our employees. We hope to continue that tradition, but unfortunately actions as of late has violated the trust that we've created with all those parties. We have identified the problem where our engineers tried to bypass federal regulations for emissions testing. And as a source of that problem, we have decided to commit to no longer putting pressure on and empowering our engineering teams to be sure that anyone that feels that they may be having to try to meet an unrealistic expectation to be given the time and all the resources available to explore all the proper options to be able to meet those regulations and put out a quality product that would reflect the trust that our customers, the countries that we operate in, and even our employees put in our organization. We also commit to a fund to help plant trees to offset the impact that our cars and vehicles that are operating currently, and until we're able to remedy the solution. And also, we are recommitting to a commitment we've already made to green operations in our manufacturing operations and our supply chain. Does anybody have any questions?
With this new corporate structure, do you see any engineers or any more management stepping down in the near future?
The main problem that we've identified was on an engineering level, and the structure so much has not changed as it's a new commitment to our values that have already been in place. We just feel that we may have lost sight and put pressure for performance and things like that in place of some of our values, and it's just going to be a clear message from the ground up that our main values are in putting out a good product that everyone feels is ethical and performs to the standards that we advertise. Yes?
Were you aware of the problem before it went public?
I was not aware. Well, we actually, yes, we were aware. I apologize. I mean, I was aware as soon as the government bodies became aware, and they made us aware. In the meantime, between that time period that we were made aware from the regulatory commissions to the time it went public, that is when that was the time we used to do our investigation and find out the root cause and start our plan to try to remedy that.
You talked about planting trees. How many trees is that take?
That's a good question, and we're not tree experts. We manufacture automobiles. We manufacture the best automobiles in the world. We're going to outsource that to some people that know better than that, and our main goal is to provide the funds to those people to do their job. Yes, sir.
When you think about the guys in West Virginia who bought his arm, are their lives in threat?
Their lives aren't in threat. In all honesty, they exposed a problem that we had. It would have been exposed eventually. They were just smart enough to catch it soon. And it may look bad, but you know what? It gave us an opportunity to fix a problem that could have got worse, and over time would have only caused more damage. So we actually thank them for exposing that and giving us the opportunity to do the type of business we want to do.
When a crisis happens, some people look at it as an opportunity. So would you take the opportunity of then working with the team from West Virginia University to remedy this solution or have a solution to this problem?
Certainly. And you know what? We'd actually like to provide funding to them to be able to go out and check other manufacturers to make sure that this isn't a problem that other companies may be facing as well.
Any more questions?
You mentioned unrealistic expectations. Could you expand a little bit more on that? What are your
Yeah.
feelings about diesel?
We've always been committed to diesel. Volkswagen is one of the, especially in the passenger car market, we have the largest share of diesel cars in the world. So that's something that we've always been committed, and we hope to see it thrive. Unrealistic expectations, it's sometimes, I guess, when you're striving for excellence in performance and things like that, sometimes your focus can only be on one thing at a time, whether it's driving costs down or whether it's the actual performance of the automobile. Unfortunately, this was a case where we focused on the wrong thing and lost track of some of the stuff that was important. Yes?
Will you expand your investigation to include the non-diesel one and see the additional non-diesel one?
That's something, like I said, I'd be open to provide the funding to those great guys from West Virginia, and they could take a look into that. Anything else?
Okay, guys, I only have 2 things left for you to think about. Number one, Arvin and I talked about this, and also a journalist, a couple reporters and I talked about this aspect, that this is an environmental concern first and foremost. However, if we switched it and that human lives were being lost, this would take a whole nother critical viewpoint, right? So that's something to consider. Any journalist, when it comes to a crisis situation, is going to find out the truth. They don't care how they have to find it out, they're going to go after the truth and talk to as many people and dig as many places they need to get to find out the truth. And that's something that you always need to be aware of. So I just wanted to mention to you, if lives were being lost with this type of situation with Volkswagen, then we would have a whole other crisis on our hands, and please be aware of that. The last thing is, remember I mentioned to you, you know you have a crisis when SNL or someone else is making fun of it. So I know you guys are aware of John Oliver, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to show you that he took action with Volkswagen. So here we go.
Cars, the smartest characters in the Fast and Furious movies. This week, German automaker Volkswagen found itself in the middle of a scandal of potentially criminal proportions.
Volkswagen is bracing for billions in fines, possible criminal charges for its executives, as the company apologizes for rigging 11 million cars to help it beat emissions tests.
Certain diesel models were designed with sophisticated software that used information including the position of the steering wheel and vehicle speed to determine the car was undergoing emissions testing. Under that circumstance, the engine would reduce toxic emissions. But the car was rigged to bypass that when it was being driven. Emissions increased 10 to 40 times above acceptable EPA levels.
Wow! 10 to 40 times greater than the EPA allows. That is the worst thing Volkswagen has ever done. Is something you might say if you'd never heard of World War II. Maybe the surest sign of how much trouble Volkswagen is in is that people at the very top have stepped down. The CEO resigned on Wednesday after scrambling to do damage control, saying he was endlessly sorry, which sounded great until it turned out he was only 10% sorry but had rigged his mouth to artificially inflate his sorriness. And meanwhile, Volkswagen's US chief had an apology of his own.
Let's be clear about this. Our company was dishonest, and in my German words, we've totally screwed up.
Yep, but totally screwed up are not German words. And the German language has many beautiful phrases to describe situations just like this, such as Geschäftslügentraurigkeit, which means roughly the sadness that comes from business-related lies. Or Benzinwolkenwartebeschämung, which translates as shaming one's father involving clouds of gasoline. It's a beautiful language, it just sails off the tongue. And by the way, while that man's apology may have sounded sincere, it's worth noting he was speaking at an official launch party for the 2016 Volkswagen Passat, meaning that shortly after saying sorry, he said this.
Thank you very much for coming. Enjoy the evening. Up next is Lenny Kravitz.
Okay. Ending your apology with "up next, Lenny Kravitz" does not scream sober contrition. It screams, "We asked Bon Jovi and he said no." Volkswagen's brand has been badly damaged, and frankly, their new ad campaign is not exactly helping.
Guten Tag. We at Volkswagen would like to apologize for deceiving you with our vehicles, which is why the 2015 Jetta now comes fully loaded with new, not at all fraudulent features, such as golden brakes, the ability to feel human emotions, and a stylish interior made of 100% raven speaks and pterodactyl skin. Plus, in a brand new feature, if you drive a Jetta off the side of the Golden Gate Bridge, you will not die. That's a Volkswagen guarantee. And if it's speed you're looking for, the 2015 Jetta contains a powerful 2.0-liter TDI clean diesel engine that will suck your dick. The Jetta will bring your engorged genitals to a shattering climax. Also, and we really mean it this time, the Jetta is very good for the environment. And even if it isn't, remember, it sucks your dick. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Lenny Kravitz.
I thought you guys would appreciate that. Before we are dismissed from this session, I wanted to make sure that you were able to thank Kimberly Dutcher. She's one of my students at West Virginia University. She came today to help us out. And of course, Arvin, would you please stand up? He took time. Very good man. Okay, so please the takeaways from this is please remember, if you're in a PR agent, you have to be aware of the brand of your company or your product, and it's not in the mind of you, the people that work for the company, but in the mind of your consumers. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.